Hi everyone, I'm Kendra from ChemEd Solutions, and I'm going to talk today about Bellwork questions that I use to make the beginning 5 minutes of my class run smooth for the Solutions unit. Solutions has a lot of terms that are vocabulary that our students probably haven't heard of before. And so one Bellwork question that I like to use for that is to write out something like this one. So calcium chloride is dissolved in hydrogen monoxide. Determine which is the solute and the solvent. So here we talk about that. It says calcium chloride is dissolved. We know that the thing that is dissolved is our solute. And then dissolved in tells us what is our solvent. So making sure my students have honed in on those really important vocabulary words is really helpful to get us started on the right foot. So this is a great, day 2 or even day 1, seeing if they know these words ahead of time. This could be a great opening Bellwork question for them. We do a lot of calculations in Solutions, and one of those types of calculations is on molarity. Now, molarity and molarity are commonly confused by our students because they sound so similar and their units are also similar. Now, one thing to note is by this point in the year, my students are really good at converting between grams and moles. And so I'm really comfortable having that as an extra calculation in any type of Bellwork question, really after the moles unit, because it's so important and they have to continue to use it all the time. So you'll see here in this question that I'm having my students go from grams to moles, and that happens here, and that I'm asking just to find the molality of a solution. So again, checking, do my students know what molality is, and do they have the proper units, and can they plug it in correctly? So nothing super exciting, but a really straightforward, honed in, do we know what molality is? Another one I like to do is with molarity. Now with molarity, it's really common to have to solve for the volume of a certain molal solution because that is applicable. It's something that you could easily have to do. I want to make a 5.5 molal solution. I have 995 grams of my magnesium chloride. What volume do I need to use, right? This happens in the lab. And so we also know that our students are not usually great at solving for the bottom of a fraction. And so I set this one up specifically to see if my students can correctly solve for the volume or the liters inside of molarity. So again, my students quickly go from grams to moles, comfortable having that added step in there, and then I have them plug in and solve for here. I have my students cross multiply and divide because that is what my math department at my school teaches. If that wasn't how my math department taught solving for the bottom, I would use whatever language they are hearing in math. So math teachers are one of your greatest companions when you're teaching chemistry. Talk to them about what verbiage do they use for math. Use that verbiage. The consistency is key for our students. So this is one type of molarity calculation that I would have them do. And then the other type of molarity calculation that I like to have students do is where they have to convert between milliliters and liters. You can see that up here. I give them the volume in milliliters, and that's because I know that my students read quickly, they'll find those numbers, they'll plug them in, and they don't always check to see if the units are correct. And so this is a great one to see, well, did they get the right answer? If they did, it's because they converted milliliters to liters. And if they didn't, they're off by a factor of, a couple tens, then we're going to notice that there and it's, oh, hey, did you convert? Oh, no, I didn't. And usually that little nudge helps them out as we continue to work on these types of calculations. So if this was helpful to you, make sure that you follow along, subscribe to my channel here where I share tips and tricks about teaching high school chemistry, and many of them are going to be skills focused because the skills is where our students see the application of chemistry, and those are the things that they can learn and then take with them far beyond the chemistry classroom, even if they're not going to go into science. It's my mission to take things off your plate so you have more time to be home with your loved ones, doing the things that you enjoy, and not burning yourself out teaching high school chemistry. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at ChemEd Solutions, and I have an email list where I send emails every week, usually Tuesdays around lunchtime, where I share a helpful teacher tip, trick, and free resource for you. If that's interesting for you and you'd like to see what more we have, you can sign up at chemedsolutions.com/skills-focused chemistry. I've got some freebies and some gifts for you and some great resources, and then more to follow. Well, thanks for joining and happy sciencing!